And welcome back. We're reading the Sealed Nectar, a Patreon requested book. Shout out to the patrons. This is the biography of the noble prophet. Cute little pocket-sized edition. I like it. Learn a lot about Arab history. This should be a text included in world literature. Okay, we are in the section says open preaching. We're on page 155. Okay. And we're learning about, we left off on number 2 where it's talking about how people are really trying their hardest to not allow Muhammad's preaching to manifest. Okay. With respect to the Quran, they used to allege that it was tales of the ancients, which he, Muhammad, peace be with him, has written down, and they are dictated to him morning and afternoon. 25:5. The wicked persons went on ceaselessly putting in people's ears that the Quran was not a true revelation. This, the Quran, is nothing but a lie that he, Muhammad, peace be on him, has invented, and others have helped him at it. 25:4. They claimed, it is only a human being who teaches him. 16:103. They also raised another baseless and superficial objection. Why does this messenger, Muhammad, peace be with him, eat food and walk about in the markets like ourselves? I think I remember that one. 25:7. The noble Quran has strongly negated their charges and allegations, and has explained that the statements of the Prophet, peace be with him, are the revelations of the Lord, and their nature and contents provide bold challenge to those who attribute his prophetic expression some base origin, at some times to the mental fits of a dreamer reformer, at others to the feelings of an obsessed poet or the unclear mutterings of an insane man. Whoa. They're pulling out all the stops. Number 3. Contrasting the Quran with the mythology of the ancients in order to distract people's interest from Allah's words. It is narrated that An-Nadir bin Harith went to Hira, where he got conversant with the traditions of the kings of Persia, and the accounts of people like Rustum and Isfandiyar. Who are they? We're going to have to find out who they are. And then returned to Mecca. Here he would always shadow the messenger's steps in whatever audiences they later held to preach the new faith and to caution people against Allah's wrath. An-Nadir would directly follow the Prophet, peace be with him, and narrate to the same audience long tales about those people of Persia. He would then always add to his talk a question cunningly inquiring if he did not surpass Muhammad, peace be upon him. Ibn Abbas, peace be with him, related that An-Nadir used to purchase female singers who would, through their bodily charms and songs, entice away from Islam anyone developing the least attachment to the Prophet, peace be with him. Look at that. Look at that. He said, An-Nadir, he used females to pull people away from a holy message. That applies today. Allah revealed, and of mankind is he who purchases idle talks, i.e. music, singing, etc., to mislead men from the path of Allah. Wow. Persecutions is the next path. Oh boy, we're going to get into it. Persecutions. At the beginning of the 4th year of the call, and for a period of some months, the polytheists confined their harassment tactics to those mentioned above. After they realized that they could not restrict the inflow of people to Islam without persecuting the believers and torturing them, they arranged for another meeting. This time, after consultation, the campaign of persecuting the Muslims and torturing them to get them to leave their religion was approved. Each of the leaders began persecuting anyone in their tribe found to be following the religion of Islam. Religious persecution is a hard thing to deal with. Whenever Abu Jahl heard of the conversion of a man of high birth with powerful friends, he would degrade his good sense and intellect, undermine his judgment, and threaten him with terrible consequences if he was a merchant. Using a tactic to attack someone's business to silence them is a thing that happens today with a lot of people who, if you're in a political certain party or you profess a certain political party, people will call your business, like if you work for a place, and they'll try to get you fired. They'll threaten you till you conform, until you are no longer openly espousing your political party. I know that's not the same as religion. However, it's a similarity, right? Persecuting you for your beliefs to the point where it harms your financial livelihood. And if, it says here, if he was a merchant, if they, do something to where your business gets hurt, it hurts you too, and your livelihood. Wow. If the new convert was socially weak, he would beat him mercilessly and put him to unspeakable tortures. The uncle of Uthman bin Affan used to wrap Uthman in a mat of palm leaves and set fire under him. What? Wow. And set fire under him. When Mus'ab bin Umair heard of her son's conversion, she put him to starvation and expelled him from her house. That is very sad. Now, here's something interesting. I know it's not the same, but there was a viral video of a little boy. He was a Trump supporter, regardless what you think about orange-faced Trump. It was a very sad video where the little boy, he's like, "Oh, make America great again." And the mother recorded herself putting the kid's clothes into a suitcase and telling him he was kicked out. He was probably 10 years old. He was crying. She closed the door, put his suitcases on the corner of the sidewalk, and locked him out of the house and said he couldn't have any place to live. And it was very tragic to watch. It's about your family. You should not discard your family because of political or religious beliefs. It's so sad. This is what that reminds me of. But worse, she starved him. To starve your own son is an evil beyond my comprehension. He used to enjoy full, luxurious, easy life, but as the outcome of the tortures he had to bear, his skin became marked with wrinkles and his suffering showed. Bilal, peace be with him, the slave of Umayyah bin Khalaf, was severely beaten by his master when the latter came to know of his conversion to Islam. Sometimes a rope was put around his neck, and street boys were made to drag him through the streets, and even across the hillocks of Mecca. Wow. At times he was subjected to prolonged deprivation of food and drink. Once he was bound during the hottest part of the day and placed in the valley in Mecca. Then Umayyah had a giant stone brought and placed it upon his chest. He said, "By Allah, I will not stop until you are dead, or until you reject Muhammad and worship Lat and Uzza." Yet while Bilal, peace be with him, was suffering, he said only, "One. Abu Bakr, peace be with him, was passing by. Moved by pity, he purchased and released him from slavery." That's a beautiful thing. That's terrible. A stone on your chest. Where have I read that before? I saw that once in a movie. I don't remember which movie it was, though. They kept piling the stones on him until his chest collapsed and he died. I wish I could remember what movie that was from. Maybe that's where they got it from. It was from this, right? Another victim of the cruelty of the Quraysh was Ammar bin Yasir, a freed slave of Bani Makhzum. He, along with his mother and father, embraced Islam in its early phase. They were repeatedly made to lie on the burning sand and were beaten severely. I can't even walk on the sand with my sandals off, let alone my entire body. Ammar, so Yasir, peace, may God be happy with him, Ammar, may God be happy with him, was at times thrown on embers. The Prophet, peace be upon him, once passed by while they were being tortured and said, O family of Yasir, be patient, you will certainly find your place in paradise. Yasir, peace be with him, the father died because of the repeated tortures. Sumayya, peace be with her, Amr's mother, was bayoneted to death, by Abu Jahl himself, and thus merited the title of the first woman martyr in Islam. Okay, she's very important then. Ammar's mother, wow. Ammar himself was subjected to various modes of torture and was always threatened to continuous severe sufferings unless he abused Muhammad, peace be upon him, and made an open confession of error to Allat and Uzza. Wow. In a weak moment, he uttered a word interpreted as his withdrawal through his heart never wavered, and he came back once to the Prophet, peace be with him, who consoled him for his pain and confirmed his faith. Immediately afterwards, the following verse was revealed. Whoever disbelieved in Allah after his belief, except him who was forced thereto, and whose heart is at rest with faith. 16:106. Wow. That's so sad that like these people tortured, man. Abu Fake Afla, peace be with him, a freed slave of Bani Abdudar, was another of those helpless victims. The Meccan polytheists used to lay him down on a very hot sand, placing a stone on his back so that he could not move. Ugh. Leaving him like that until he would lose his sense of reason. You can definitely go mad when you can't move. You go crazy. It's like, ugh. They also used to tie his legs with rope and drag him around a lintel until they thought he was dead. Abu Bakr, peace be with him, also passed him while he was being tortured, and he purchased his freedom for the sake of Allah. Wow, this guy is setting a lot of people free. The oppressors used to fasten his feet with a rope and drag him in the streets of Mecca. Khabab bin al-Arat, peace be with him, was the slave of Ammar bint Saba al-Khuziyah. He was also an easy victim to similar brutality on every possible occasion. He experienced exemplary torture and maltreatment. He would be taken by his hair and dragged, twisted by his neck, and thrown into the fire. Then they would drag him through the fire and not stop until his back would be burnt. Ooh. Even the women converts were not spared, and the list is too long to include all of them. Zanira, peace be with her, An-Nadia, peace be with her, and her daughter, Ubays, peace be with her, and many others had their full share of persecution at the hand of the oppressors, Umar bin al-Khattab included, of course before his conversion to Islam. Wow, this is so sad, isn't it, family? Brutality of the Quraysh. Wow. It's so fascinating, though. The Catholics and the Protestants had their burnings and the Spanish Inquisition and all these little forms of torture, but nobody has ever mentioned to me the martyrs of Islam and like its beginning. And it's good to read this because you actually become way more enlightened on Islamic history. Wow. Zanira. Wow. Nadia. Ubays. Wow. Kind of at a loss for words. I just picturing in my head what it would be like to be somebody in Mecca walking around and seeing this happen. It would be so troubling. It would be dark. Wow, family. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about?